Hello everyone, Star by Leo here again. Welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back once again. If you are joining for the first time, don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on all notifications. You can also subscribe to one of the perks to join the family, so you can request for videos and also get my videos early and also have access to my VIP videos. So in this video, I'll be sharing the knowledge on how to cut the bra cup perfectly and how to go about the sewing. So let's get right into it. So I'll be going over this again. I'll be doing this over again from the very beginning. So we talked about the length at first. It is very important. So we'll be starting with the length. I'll be marking out all the length. That is why, because you remember I said we need all the length so we can know where to measure the circumference. This is the length. This is the circumference. So the length is very important, because how do we know where to measure the bust, where to measure the waist, where to measure the hip? How do we know if this is where the hip is? We can't just mark and say this is hip. No, we have to know the exact point where the hip is located. So and also I'll be working with my pattern paper without being folded. Can you see? This is the pattern paper. I'm not folding into two. It's not necessary. Do you get? Unless you are cutting on the actual fabric, then you can fold into two, because you need it doubled. Why? Because we'll be dividing this as the measurement into 4. This is like from center. So every measurement we'll be taking from center of the body to the side, and that is divided into 4. Center of the body at front to the side, center of the body at back to the side. So taking all your length first. So we talked about the yoke line, 7.5. I'll be marking out 7.5. Can you see? The nipple point 12 inches, the underbust 15.5, and the blouse length 25. This is not up to 25, so I have to take, let me keep my pattern paper like this, so I can take everything on a single line. So this is what I have: 7.5 as the yoke line, 12 as the nipple point, 15.5 as the underbust, 18 as the half length, or 19, sorry, I remember, and 25.5 as your blouse length. These are the length of the bodies. What I'll do is I'll take it at the other side, same thing, but so I can link it together. This is so simple and straightforward. 7.5, 12 inches, 15.5, 19, 25.5. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to link the two together with my ruler. Just link it on a straight form with my ruler. Link it together with the ruler, so we know where we are measuring our circumference. That is the purpose of marking it out. So this is what I have. And this marker is out. Please let me change the marker a minute, please. So this is what I have, and of course I'm going to go ahead and label this. This is the yoke line. This is the nipple point. This is the underbust. This is the waistline. The waistline. Don't forget, please. While this is the blouse length. Can you see? So yoke line, nipple point, underbust, waistline, blouse length. Next thing I'm going to do now is to measure out all the circumference. And starting with circumference, we'll be starting with the shoulder line. So your shoulder, 17 inches divided by 2 is 8.5. I'll mark out 8.5. And don't forget, like I said, this same 8.5, this your shoulder line divided by 2 is your armhole determinant. It is not your armhole, but it is the armhole determinant. Please don't get it mixed up. It is the determinant, not the armhole. This 8.5 I measured here, I took it down 8.5. So at this 8.5, I'll also measure the same 8.5. So I can link it, this and this together, then this and this together. Can you see what we have? Don't forget, this is simple. Don't get it mixed up. 8.5, our shoulder, same 8.5 as the armhole determinant. 8.5 shoulder, 8.5 shoulder, 8.5 shoulder, 8.5 shoulder, same 8.5 shoulder, 8.5 shoulder. Then link this together, link this together. That is all. You see what I did there? So that is that. Next thing I'm going to do now is to start marking out my body's circumference. So the first one is the bust, which you are going to measure at the armhole determinant. So your bust, 41 inches divided by 4, 10 1/4, mark it out and add my sewing allowance 2 inches. So we come down to the underbust as well. Your underbust is 34.5. That's 8 3/4 plus sewing allowance 2 inches. Your waistline is 35.5 plus sewing allowance 2 inches. Your blouse length, your hip circumference is 44, which is divided by 4, 11, plus sewing allowance 2 inches. Can you see? At the armhole determinant, at this line for the armhole determinant, that is where we'll measure the bust plus sewing allowance. On the bust divided by 4 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. Waistline divided by 4 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. Hip circumference divided by 4 at the blouse length, which is at the hip or usually very close to the hip, plus sewing allowance 2 inches. So I'll be linking all this together. Link it together with your French curve. With your French curve. If you are good with hand, you can link it with your hand. All these markers are out too. Let me just go get some. Let me go get some new ones. Welcome back. Sorry, I had to quickly go get some. All the ones I have are finished already. So this is the bodies. This is the bodies. The next thing we are going to do now is you come to the shoulder and you come down a little bit by 3/4 of an inch, not up to 1 inch, and then mark. That is called the shoulder slant. Shoulder slant. Why? Because the shoulder is not straight. The shoulder is kind of slanty. Why? The shoulder slant is quite necessary. Why? Because the shoulder is not straight. The shoulder is kind of falling. So there is always a slant by the shoulder. So we'll come down by 3/4 of an inch. This is for corsets that have yoke. Some corsets are yokeless. Those ones we call off shoulder. There's no need for that, but then we have to also pass through this process before we get there. So this is the shoulder slant. I'll mark out my neckline measurement. For this I'll be using 3 inches by 3.5 inches, and then link the two together. Most of this you use your French curve. Can you see? Also link this neckline to the shoulder slant. So this is what we have. And then moving on, I'll divide what I have left. Our shoulder initially was 8.5. Our armhole determinant, I removed 3/4 of an inch. We have 7/3 left, so I'll divide that by 2 and mark 7/3 divided by 2. This is what we have, and then I'm going to mark. So at this point, at this middle center, I'm going to come in by 1/2 an inch. Please don't let this overwhelm or confuse you. You can take it step by step. Please remove 3/4 of an inch for the shoulder slant. Whatever you have left, divide by 2. This is the midpoint. So at that midpoint, come in by 1/2 an inch. It is very, very important. So I'll be linking this armhole, my bust line at my armhole determinant, to this 1/2 an inch, to this shoulder slant. Those are the 3 midpoints for the armhole. So this is what we have. So I'll place the French curve, like I said, in a way that it is touching these 3. Can you see? The French curve is touching this point where the armhole determinant is kissing with the bust circumference. This half length, which is also called the shoulder dart, the armhole dart, and this shoulder slant, placing in a way that it is touching the 3. That is the perfect armhole curve. The perfect, for female, the perfect armhole curve. Can you see what I have? Can you see the end result? You see, this is perfectly curved. Don't forget, remove the shoulder slant, 3/4 of an inch. Whatever we have remaining are the armhole determinant, which is also our shoulder divided by 2. 8.5, 8.5. Remove 3/4. Divide what you have left by 2. This is the center. It's just like folding this into 2. Then this is the center, and come in by 1/2 an inch from the armhole determinant. Come in by 1/2 an inch. Then place your French curve in a way that it is touching where the armhole determinant is kissing with the bust circumference. Here, this, and this, the shoulder slant, this point, and then we link the 3 together. So of course, this is our hip. So link it with your French curve for a perfect result. So this is what we have. This is our neckline. This is our shoulder slant. So can you see what we have? So this is our basic bodies for anything, even if it's not corset, even if it's bustier. This is the foundation. This is the meeting point. This is where we now start from. Okay, it's bustier. Okay, it's corset. But this is the foundation for every female front bodies. Do you get, ma'am? So like I said, for the dart line, we are going to have to divide our under bust. Don't forget, not our bust circumference, not our waist, not our hip, our under bust, because this is where the cup will be sitting at. The breast ends at the under bust. So we are going to divide it by 8, our under bust circumference by 8, or just measure what you have here. You know this is divided by 4 before the sewing allowance. Measure what you have here. This is also the under bust circumference divided by 4. That is what we measured here. So just divide this by 2. So take this and then fold my tape into 2. So what I have is 4 1/4. So I'm going to mark it out. So this is going to be our dart line. Mark it out all the way. Can you see? And I'm going to link it together on a straight line. Don't forget, our under bust circumference divided by 8, or this is our under bust divided by 4, this point, before we added sewing allowance. So just measure what you have here and divide it by 2, and we are good to go. So I'm going to link all this together on a straight line. Can you see? This is what we have on a straight line. This is the dart line. So moving on, we are going to design the yoke. So the yoke has usually have all kinds of designs, so it is whatever you want. So I'm going to, at the yoke line by the armhole, I'll be coming down by 1 inch. Can you see? Can you see now kisses with the armhole? So I'll be linking this point. Don't forget the yoke. We are designing the yoke from this point, from here to the armhole, from here to the center. So at the center, I'll come down a little bit by, let's say, 2 inches. Can you see? So I'll be linking it with my French curve. Link it with my French curve. Can you see what we have? And also, I'll be linking this, like I said, to the armhole, so that it gives me this lovely design. So this depends on the design we are trying to get at. Do you guys? It's not always like this. Some come down by 1. Some it is even as open as on the bust, and then they now link it to the dart line. Do you understand? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So this is according to the design you are trying to get at. It's not compulsory 2 here, 1 here. No. Some design even goes up from here, maybe 1 inch or even 2 inch. Do you get? And then you link it to the dart line and then link it here. So this is what we have as the yoke. Now this is basically everything we need to know about the corset. Next thing we have to do now, this is your cup. Can you see? So we are going to fold into 2 and then mark the center, or notch it with your scissors. Can you see? Mark it, go down, mark it as well. So you make sure this line, this marking passes through this line. It is compulsory. This marking, make sure it follows this line. Can you see? So this cup, also remember that the breast ends at the under bust. Now there breast finish, now there he end, now there the full stop. Don't forget, like I said, the breast starts from the yoke line, it ends at the under bust. So the bust can be defined as the relationship between the yoke and the underbust. That is where it occupies. So make sure your cup is sitting on this underbust line. This line. Make sure your cup is sitting here. And make sure this line, or I should draw it all the way. Make sure it is passing through this line. Make sure it is straight. Not something like this. Not like this. Not like this. It does not correlate. It does not tally. Do you get my point? Not like this. It does not tally. So make sure it tallies. Place your cup like this, and then make sure the line follows. Make sure this line is directly proportional to this line. It is the same, on the same line, on the same lane. Do you get my point? So can you see? And you also notice that this cup is sitting well. Like I said, the result of the corset is dependent on how your cup is. It is very, very important. Some people can even sew corset perfectly, but because they bought flat cup in the market, the corset is coming out flat. It's not cupping, it's not standing, it's not holding the breast properly. Do you get my point? So it is important to buy a well-standing cup, a reasonable cup. See this cup now, it stand. You see, it stand. No be the one wey be say for market, you don't even fall, you don't flat finish like this. Do you get my point? So it is very, very important to get a reasonable cup. So I'm going to place the cup at the under bust. Don't forget, this is our under bust. Place the cup at that line, and make sure this line you drew on the cup follows with this. It tallies with this dot line. Do you get? Make sure it is. You see what we have? So place the cup in a way that this line tallies with this line. It is very, very important. It is utmostly important. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to hold the cup in place, and also at the same time mark out the cup holding. I'll tell you a secret a lot of people don't tell you today now. I'll tell you that secret. A lot of people find it difficult to learn on YouTube. Why? Because there are some things they don't talk about. There are some processes they don't show. Do you get? At the end of the day, you'll be doing it exactly the way they are doing it, but you'll not be getting their same results. That shit is crazy. So just mark out round the cup where the cup is occupying. Can you see? And then link it up. Link it up. And then link it up. This cup is a pear shape, so you notice that the breast is a little bit smaller than the body. So this is what we have. Can you see? Now let me tell you a secret. The secret is, as far as this cup is what will be holding your breast, is what will be covering your breast, the most reasonable way to this corset is that you place this cup here and then you trace it out. Why? Because directly or indirectly, this cup is representing your breast. I don't know if you understand my point. This cup, directly or indirectly, is representing your breast. So as long as it is covering your breast, this is the area in which your breast occupies. So mark it all around, link it up, mark it around, link it up. You see what I have? So this is it. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim this out, and then we cut the corset pattern itself. This is the bodice pattern. Bodice pattern. So we go ahead and cut the corset pattern. So I'm going to remove the yolk. So this is a two-way corset. Why? What do I mean is, you can decide to put the yoke at the end of the day, and you can decide to remove the yoke and make it as a yokeless corset, or off-shoulder corset, as people popularly call it. Can you see? So I'll trim out the breast cage. This is the breast cage. This is where the breast is occupying. This is where the breast is sitting. Can you see? So this is what we have. So you can just fold your fabric, place this on top, use it to cut it out, and add your interface. Or a lot of people create that at this line. You can open this up and then recut it. Same as this center as well. So let's open this up. So when you are cutting this on your fabric, make sure to add half an inch joining allowance all through. Half inch joining allowance all through. Don't forget, at this side and at the cup caging side. At this side, same thing to the yoke. Your joining allowance, your joining allowance. Why? Because this is exactly as it is. It's only the side that we added sewing allowance. If you remember, we didn't add sewing allowance to all our division, to all our length. Do you get my point? So that is it. So let's go ahead now and cut the corset pattern. I have my pattern paper, and then this is the cup. This is simple and straightforward. I don't know why a lot of people keep getting this wrong, but this is quite simple and straightforward. And the only thing to do is just fold your cup into two. This cup has been made already. There's no need for any excess calculation, to be very honest. And let me remind you that any calculation you are doing, all this curve, that, this, that, is a calculation of how to make this cup. For people that don't use this cup, maybe you want to use foam. You know, some people use bra foam, that hip padding foam, to create their own corset. If that is what you are using, then you can go ahead and calculate. But if you are using this bra cup, it is as simple as folding your cup into two. Fold it inward. Don't just fold like this. Fold it inward, push it inward, and then place on the pattern paper. Do you know what I'm going to do next? Is I'm just going to mark around the cup. Mark around the cup. Can you see? Mark around the cup. Can you see? So this is the cup. You see how simple this is? But another thing you have to do is, you notice that the cup is not up to our yoke line. There's a margin, there's a big difference there. Let me arrange this so you can see. You notice that it is not up to. Can you see? If you place the cup, can you see the cup? You notice that there's still space here. Let me turn it this way so you can see. Can you see? You see that there's still space here. So what we are going to do now is to measure. Place your tape at this point, and then measure all the way here. Do you get? To get your cup length, to get your corset length. Don't forget, the cup length is not up to the corset length. It's not up to this hole. If we just do this, cut this, join it and fix it, there will be space here, error here. So what we are going to do is to measure from this underbust to this line. So here I have 9 inches. Can you see? So place the tape at the center. Don't forget, this is the center of the cup. Can you see? This is the center. Here is the center. Let me write C. This is where we measured. This is the center, this is the side. So it is good to just label it center, side. Can you see? So place your tape from the bottom, just like we measured. Can you see? Just like we measured from here, from the tip, from the bottom here. So place your tape at the bottom of the cup and trace it up. Can you see? This is 7 inches. Definitely is not up to what we need. So extend it up and mark that 9 inches that we measured. Don't get this confused at all. If you are getting confused, you can go over the video again or ask questions. It is as simple as that. Can you see? Place your tape here, measure what we have all the way, and this is 9 inches. Can you see? So measure the difference, 2 inches, and add it to the rest of the cup. 2 inches. Also come to the side and add 1/4 or 1 inch. It is advisable. Do you get it? It is better it is bigger than the cup, and then we put the cup inside and trim off the excess, than you put the cup and it is struggling to meet up with the cup. There is no correction, there is no solution. So it is better to prevent, to avoid, than to find solution. So this 1/4 or 1 inch, whichever you want, is to prevent that. It is better it is bigger. You see what I mean in the sewing process now. It is better it is bigger, and then we now place the cup inside the corset and then trim off the excess. It is better that way than it is not up to. There's no solution for that. So what I'll be doing is, this curve that is coming up, just take it up, follow the curve. Can you see? Follow it up. We are increasing it back. So this as well, link it. Can you see? And then this 1/4, take it up as well. Can you see what we have? So the sweet part is, this 1/4 is only added to the upper part. Don't add it here. Don't say 1/4 all the way down. No. What we do is take this same what we have here and then just link it to the 1/4. Don't forget. Can you see? The extension, the addition is added at the upper part alone. This peak, this top, add 1/4. Don't say 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. No. Just from here, take it, mark it, and then link it in a curvy way to this 1/4, and then this is our cup. Don't forget, this is the center, this is the side. So we'll be cutting 2 of these for each side, and then we'll be joining. Do you get 2 you join? So I'll be cutting this out. Can you see? This is what we have, plus our sewing allowance, joining allowance, to avoid errors. So I'm going to cut 2 of these and tape it together so you can see what I mean. So of course, can you see, after taping, this is what I have. Can you see? But of course you wouldn't have this. Why? Because you'll be joining with a little bit, maybe 1/4. Don't take it too much. Don't take half an inch. Half an inch is excess. You'll be joining with maybe 1/4, a little bit more. Do you get? So you'll be having something very similar to this. Can you see? So because you use this thing to cut it out, you won't have up to this same excess. Why? Because you'll be joining already. There will be excess removed already. Do you get what I mean? So by joining 1/4 or more here, we reduce the amount of excess. Can you see? Let's pretend I'm holding it here. It will reduce the amount of excess you have by the side, so you won't have up to this same excess. But nonetheless, can you see, I'll place my cup inside and make sure this line tallies with this joining line. Can you see what I have? You see how copy it is? And then I'm going to trim out the excess. Can you see? Can you see? See what I have? And then let's just place all this together. Place it together. Place the yolk. And then place our corset with cup in it. So this is what I have. So definitely this thing is not staying in one place, but you see what I have at the end of the day. While sewing, you see the process and how it is done properly. So I hope you try this out. Try it out and let me know how it turns out, please.